Okay, you're all quiet down and not just
We heard recording in progress. Yes.
Are you double checking? Phones off? I know. All right, here we go. Morning, everyone. Nice to see so many people in the gallery this morning. I'm going to call this meeting to order. We're going to start with a moment of reflection. All right. Confirmation of the agenda. I have a recommendation that the council agenda dated March 3rd, 2026 be approved as circulated. Moved by Councillor Martin, second by Councillor Vanessa. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Declaration of pecuniary interest for anyone this morning? Seeing none. There's no report of closed session. We are on to item 6, consent agenda. Would anybody like anything pulled? There is 24 items there. Where is it now?
6.9, usually LA St. Charles.
Okay. Anybody else? No? Councillor Bell, did you want to just speak to that?
Yeah, I must have missed. This is in support of strengthening self-defense protections addressing rising home invasions in Ontario. I must have missed Moosonese when it came out. This is in support of Moosonese. I watched with the council's presentation where they were discussing this. The audio wasn't that great, but kind of got the understanding that it's not just a big city problem. It's becoming more and more of a rural problem. We've heard Premier Ford talk about castle law and the right to defend your home and property. So I'd like to see that, you know, when we look at it in a rural context where we're also isolated, not necessarily to the extent that Moosonee certainly is, but I think it's something that I'd like to send a letter of support to.
Any other comments regarding council? I personally would like to see the letter from the meeting. We'll do that. Is there any way you can get that?
I don't remember seeing Moosonee one come across, so I'm not, and again, the audio from their council meeting is not great, so I couldn't understand exactly where all it got sent to.
Sure. So if you're okay with that, let's bring it back to the next meeting with the letter of Moosonee and the discussion.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. All right. Seeing nothing else, the recommendation that consent agenda 6.1 to 6.24 be received with information and that the regular council minutes of February 17, 2026 be adopted. Moved by Councillor Jeff Bell, second by Councillor Mark Bell. All those in favor? Carried. We are at public meetings, hearings, and delegations. Report of revision. We have a recommendation that the council of township person hereby does appoint the following members to sit on the board of revision with Councillors Jeff Anderson, Corby, and Vanessa. Moved by Deputy Mayor Wilhelm, second by Mark Bell. Councillor Mark Bell. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. And the council does recess at 9:33 a.m. in order to hold a board of revision board of plunder training. Moved by Councillor Martin, second by Councillor Vanessa. All those in favor? And opposed? Carried.
Okay, so when I call your name, if you could read the oath in front of you, Councillor Jeff Bell.
I do, I, Jeff Bell, do solemnly swear that I will, to the best of my judgment and ability, without fear, favor, or partiality, honestly decide the appeals to the Court of Revision from the assessments appearing in provisional bylaws entitled Cluttered Drain and Branches that may be brought before me for trial as a member of such court.
Councillor Van Ness?
I, Jim Van Ness, do solemnly swear that I will, to the best of my judgment and ability, without fear, favor, or partiality, honestly decide the appeals to the Court of Revision from the assessments appearing in the provisional bylaw entitled The Flooded Drain and Branches that may be brought before me for trial as a member of such court.
Thank you. Councillor Corrigan?
I, Sam Carview, do solemnly swear that I will, to the best of my judgment and ability, without fear, favor, or partiality, honestly decide the appeals to the Court of Revision from the assessments appearing in the provisional bylaws entitled The Flooded Drain and Branches that may be brought before me for trial as a member of such court.
Thank you. Councillor Bell, you are the chair of this Court of Revision.
Okay, so we will call this Court of Revision to order at 9:35 a.m. We're here to talk about the Cluttered Drain and Branches, Brandon's report dated January 5th, 2026, and noting that Spirit Associates are the engineers. Brandon, can you walk us through?
So there's been no appeals received as far as I'm aware, and I don't believe any of the landowners are even in attendance. We haven't heard anything regarding appeals from any of them.
Okay. Do you want to outline the nature of the proposed drainage works?
This is a closed drain located on line 4. The tile system, it is a brand new drain. It was initiated by the Flooders and Mr. Thompson, and has an approximate cost of $281,000.
So we have no written comments or objections.
No, haven't received.
Okay. And there's no one here in support of it or against it. Okay. Where was that?
No, that's okay. So I've attached, so now that you have that, you can read.
Do I have to do this first?
Nope.
No, okay. All right, well then, for me, I have a recommendation that the Court of Revision for the Cluttered Drain does hereby accept the recommendations of Brandon Widner of Spirit Associates, and further does hereby confirm the drainage assessments as outlined in the assessment schedule dated January 5th, 2026. David Mover, Jim, Sam, all in favor?
And now you can adjourn.
Okay, and then now I have a recommendation that the Court of Revision for the Cluttered Drain is hereby adjourned at 9:37. Sam, Jim, all in favor?
You're done.
Done, thank you. I like these.
Okay, you're gonna fill in the numbers for me. So, hold on, I have the tender results. Yeah. Brandon?
So we had this drain close on the 27th. We did receive 8 bids, or the township did. So the estimate on this project, I believe it's on your letter. You have it in front of me. It's approximately, I think it's $201,000 if I remember correctly. We have a low bid received from AG Hater out of Grand Bend, so at $179,680 plus HST. You know, the bid, everything seems to be in order. It is for summer construction. But yes, we did receive 8 bids and we have, some very competitive bids. You know, we have 4 bids under the estimate. We did come in at about 89%. I believe on the letter, we also noted, where the special assessments, landed, with regards to roads, and I believe they're within $300, if I remember correctly. So the specials are essentially the same, but the drain is down approximately $20,000. The savings would go to the owners. So very, yeah, it's very competitive.
Any questions for Brandon? Nothing else?
No question. Excuse me, just one question, man. Any concerns from homeowners doing it with summer?
Well, they don't know yet. Yeah, so, you know, unfortunately, so this drain started as we tiled a farm last year. Flooders tiled 50 acres, which was obviously in wheat last year. So obviously this year it's corn. The other farm is beans, and one farm is wheat. So unfortunately, you're going through all the crops regardless. You know, haters, you know, they did work in the township before. They do excellent work. We haven't seen them here for a couple of years, but yeah. The last drain I remember is the one they did just down the road here, probably 10 years ago. But no, the farmer, like, you are all just seeing the results. The landowners don't know the results either.
But the landowners are being paid damages.
Yeah, they're all being paid for crop damages.
All right, thank you.
See, the completion date is October 31st. How long?
Yeah. So, it should take like 2 to 3 weeks. I believe they have a start date of, I think it's June or July. So to be honest, this is a farm tile contractor. They usually do these jobs when they can't farm tile, which is usually when the wheat's on. But to be honest, the best time to do it is in the spring, or the summer, I should say.
All right, seeing no further questions for Brandon, I have a recommendation that the council accepts the recommendation for street associates and awards the tender for the flutter train to AG Hager Contracting Limited in the amount of $179,680 plus AUSD. Moved by Deputy Mayor Gilman, second by Councillor Courtney. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you.
All right, we're at 7.3. Bill Hunter here, Best Streets, and we want to talk to the front, and I think you have a presentation for us, plus the annual report.
Yeah, just gonna start.
Okay. Good morning, Mayor and Council. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. Our Perth East Fire Department 2025 year in review provides an overview of our department's activities, performance, accomplishments over the past year in support of community safety. The report highlights our emergency response statistics, training and professional development, our fire prevention and inspection efforts, and also our public education initiatives, reflecting our department's continued commitment to service excellence, regulatory compliance, and operational readiness. Collectively, these efforts demonstrate the dedication of our members, the value delivered to the townships we serve, and the department's ongoing focus on protecting life, property, and the well-being of the communities we serve. We did provide some hard copies, so if you'd like to peruse those, they're kind of fun to look at, lots of pictures in there. Pictures say 1,000 words, and we do a lot in the community, so it's nice to be able to showcase that. So thank you for your time today, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Excellent report. Any questions from council about the year in review? A lot of effort put into the report. Love the statistics and the incident response rate. Any questions regarding the year in review? Councilor Deputy Mayor Will?
Yes, just wondering, was there any events conducted in Perth South as far as education and prevention?
So typically we try and attend the Downey Central School 2 to 3 times a year. So we were there for their family fun day. on September 25th. Typically, we try and go in the fall as well to witness the fire drill and do some in-person education in the classrooms. They wanted to defer that to the spring, so we do have time set up in April to go visit some classrooms and witness one of their fire drills. We also have our Cedar Mill open house every year, so Fire Prevention Week is usually the second week in October. So we hosted that event as well. And then our other public education initiatives include our radio campaigns through the two Stratford radio stations, and then as well as our social media.
Any further questions about the year in review? If not, I have a recommendation that the Perth Fire Department year in review for Perth South be received for information. Moved by Councilor Jeff Bell, seconded by Councilor Mark Bell. All those in favor? None opposed, carried. We are at the updated fire agreement. Bill, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, Mayor and members of council. This report before you today presents a proposed update to the fire services agreement between the Township of Perth South and the Township of Perth East. This review originated back in August of 2025. Perth East Fire Department Joint Advisory Committee requested that staff examine whether sufficient operational and capital information was being shared with Perth South Council. Staff reviewed the agreement and found that most of the provisions remain effective and did not require amendment, including meeting scheduling and existing requirements for sharing our minutes, financial statements. Some internal improvements were identified to ensure that those processes occur consistently. There were two targeted additions that are proposed to enhance communication and transparency. First, the monthly fire department activity reports will be shared by both municipalities at the same time. You'll see in consent tonight or this morning that I loaded up with 6 activity reports, which is unfortunate. So the plan with that is that when I do my single monthly activity report for Perth East, it would simultaneously be sent to the Perth South clerk and would show up on your consent on a regular monthly basis. The second, the fire chief will attend a minimum of 2 Perth South council meetings annually or as requested. And that's to provide operational updates directly to council. So these changes were supported by the Joint Advisory Committee and no other amendments have been made to the agreement. The intent is simply to strengthen information sharing and maintain that clear communications between both municipalities. And I'd certainly be willing to answer any questions.
Any questions? Deputy Mayor Wilhelm?
Yes, thank you. I'm pleased with the amendments you put in. I think that's great. And the question I do have though is that how is the percentage Perth South was calculated in the agreement? That's the Perth South lands that are covered by fire protection. And it states that all lands in Perth East within the corporation limits per impact assessment. So it really doesn't state how Perth South's assessment for fire protection with Perth East is calculated. And I'd really like to get an understanding of that.
So there is a formula. The assessment, the assessed area, the Seamerville response area, that information, the impact assessment, is provided to the Perth East treasurer. And then it goes into a formula, which is a treasurer question. I wouldn't be able to get into that exactly, but there is a formula. And it compares the assessment for the Seamerville response area in Perth South with the assessment for the entire Perth East response area for the fire department. Yeah, the calculation would have to probably be better explained by the treasurer. The one thing, and I think it's important that the council is aware, Perth South gets the services of the entire Perth East Fire Department. It's not specifically just the services of the Cedarville Fire Station. So, for instance, a structure fire in Perth South, obviously the Cedarville Fire Station responds to that, but at the exact same time, the Shakespeare Fire Station is also responding with assets to help. That's why it's based on the entire Perth East Fire Department. But yeah, as far as the math, I'll leave that up to the treasurers.
I appreciate your explanation. I, for one, would like to see that calculation in this agreement so that in 5 years, anybody can read it and know how it's calculated on a per cell case. And I think it's important to have it in this agreement.
Through you, Mayor, the agreement does have a section that talks about the process, but you're absolutely correct. The actual formula isn't included in the agreement. So that is something that could be looked at.
But there's no changes in that part of the
No.
agreement? It's
No.
just about the, committee.
Yes, certainly what's being presented today, there's been no changes to the calculation, the formula, or any of that process whatsoever. The only changes that I have with me today are the two sections on communications.
Just the last follow-up. I think that this is an excellent opportunity to put in the formula on how First South is assessed. As we have opened up the agreement.
Can I just clarify with Will? I know you're fairly new here, but we have a fire master plan. And we have to make sure from our fire master plan that all of our agreements basically align so that we're offering all the same services. So that might open the door to a bigger conversation. Does that need to be, can we approve this morning as is and then have a second motion that all of the agreements be open to align? Would that suffice?
Yes, I think from my perspective, there's no question we will be looking at all three agreements over the next while. There have been some situations that have led us that we have to, and then there's some other things that we probably should, i.e. through the fire master plan to look at that. It's a great opportunity to open it up. I would agree with the chief that the agreement today is only about the communications related items, but certainly if there could be that second motion to create an opportunity to have Perth East, whatever that group that gets together looks like. I haven't totally formulated that in my mind, but if there's a group that can sit together and work through the agreement as a whole, certainly any agreement can be opened up at any time either, so there's definitely an opportunity to do so, but also appreciating that these particular amendments really are just for a now thing. We can look to the future as well.
Your treasurer would be willing to work with our treasurer so that we have, when we do have the new agreement, that it's all laid out as Bob explained.
I can't speak for my treasurer, but I don't see that being a problem.
Go ahead, Chief.
So I was talking to Paula yesterday, so really what she's doing is taking our, Seabrookville area, putting the weighted assessment to it, adding it to theirs, and then dividing. So, that's where that formula is coming up, almost 15%. So that's how she's doing it. So I kind of have a handle on that, so when we do open up the agreement, we can discuss that.
Councilor Carter?
I think we're thinking of, along Bob's line is we're thinking of future councils, because we're gonna have an election come up. I don't see why we couldn't have the formula in the agreement. It's being, it's in front of everybody then. Be nice to have it in there, and my other point is, it's like an open-end agreement. It just says it starts on March 26th. Should it be reviewed every 5 years or something for other councils to go through? I'm not sure. I'm just throwing it out there. it's an open-ended agreement, and once you sign it, is it something that you start negotiating? Like, I mean, it just seems like it's, yeah, it's just a thought. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, like, I think, procedurally, my suggestion would be to, deal with the, proposed changes today. Have the joint advisory committee, at their next meeting, perhaps bring a motion forward that, through kind of a fulsome review of Perth South's overall fire agreements, that the agreement be opened up at that time, to look at some specifics like the costing formula, services provided, like give it a fulsome review. This, quite honestly, was very targeted to improve the communications between both Perth East and Perth South. We didn't look at anything else. Yeah, I would say any agreement could be opened up at any time as long as there was council consensus to do that.
Councilor Raphael?
On those lines, do we give written notice every year that we're going to, or is it just assume that we take the services? And then second point is, it says, any written notice given out shall terminate this agreement as of December 31st of the following year. So say in 2027, we give written notice, is it December 31st of 2028 that this agreement is over? Is that how you proceed?
Yeah, I believe that the notification period would be that 6 months where Perth South Council would advise Perth East that, but I believe that deals with like the ending of the agreement. I think that the opening and revisiting the agreement could be done at any time, through, once again, through consensus of councils.
Thank you.
We certainly don't want to look at ending the agreement.
No. I just wanted to get clarity on that.
Yes, yes.
And I just want clarity, because I'm happy to go back to the fire advisory board, but I'm thinking that people around this council would like to have the explanation of the, how that, finances are done. So, does that have to go to fire, or can we just, accept this, but then make second motion that we are going to have a meeting to explain that specifically?
I, as a fire chief, but I would probably defer to the CAO for some direction, but yeah, I don't see how that would be a problem.
Yeah, so through the mayor, I guess the way I would envision it, would be, that second motion would be almost be as simple as Perth South and Perth East have a discussion, and again, however you want to formulate that. And I think what we may find is there could be particular items that's of interest to the whole of the group that could be discussed, make sure those are on the table. That's going to provide some clear direction then to maybe staff, and or if there is some political representation required throughout the process, we could look at that. But I'm assuming, myself anyway, that there's likely some key items that will want to be looked at right out of the gates, and maybe that might satisfy people right there, knowing that the item is going to be discussed as part of the review, and they might have their items clarified during that process as well. So I would say it's maybe not leave it vague enough that it's Perth South and Perth East get together to have a discussion would be kind of my thought. And then however that comes together, if maybe some people may be interested in attending for the initial meeting, and maybe some people may not.
And just to clarify, it's not just, we have to open all of our fire agreements.
At some point, yes,
At some
yes,
point.
we do.
Because we want all of our, that comes out from our fire master plan, we want all of our same services for everybody across the board, so it's a matter of comparing everybody. So, yeah.
Just with the note that all three agreements may not have exactly the same foundation on which they're based on. It might be a totally different relationship, but you're absolutely right. We want to make sure we know exactly the service that we're being provided with, and that part's consistent.
Yeah, I'm concerned that when we start, this whole process of renegotiating basically 3 fire agreements, so that we get same protection in education, fire prevention throughout the township of Perth South, is gonna drag on. And, I don't believe this agreement needs to, be complicated, but I am gonna make a motion that we defer this signing of this agreement until the financial end of it is completed in the agreement. That's my motion.
Okay, seconder. Councilor Vaness, discussion on that. Councilor Martin.
I'm just wondering the timeline on that, because the communications aspect of this agreement that's before us right now looks good. And it would be nice to have that in place. So, deferring this doesn't, to me, make a lot of sense if it's not gonna change the financial and that it's just keeping us from taking advantage of these communication opportunities. Unless I'm reading that wrong.
Councilor Cordy and then.
I guess, we've had a great relationship. It's not gonna go away. I mean, deferring it's not gonna hurt anything until we get more information. It's been the same for how many years, since a long time, with not being reviewed, so I don't see any issue with deferring it for a little longer until we get a few facts. But it's not like we're gonna lose your fire service. We both need each other, right?
Councilor Marco.
Just ask Tracy how long that would take to get the financials figured out. Maybe that would figure out where we would be on this motion.
Or, I have the spreadsheet that Paula sent me last night, so where the numbers came from. That would be pretty easy to just put right in the agreement if that's just the problem. It's basically the budget for the firehouses, and then our percentage using our weighted assessment of that area that you service. The financials are pretty easy, to figure out, and, if it's just a matter of throwing that spreadsheet on the agreement, it wouldn't take long at all.
Does that have to go through the fire advisory committee?
Probably. This report is on the agenda for Perth East Council tonight. So obviously whatever decision is made here could have implications on Perth East Council meeting. But I typically, anything that deals with the fire service of between Perth East and Perth South goes through the fire advisory committee first. So yeah, procedurally, I would say that it would probably have to go back to the committee.
They are advisory only though.
Yes.
You could take it to Perth East Council directly. I think that's the only thing,
Sorry, through the mayor, just one other thought. I'm wondering in the resolution, because again, the formula is what it is, appreciating that we want to be at some point down the road discussion regarding the formula. If the motion read something like approval of the amendments with the addition that the formula itself be added to the agreement, with something like that, that's something full in a sense, but at the same time, there's a motion on the floor, so.
Yeah, we would have to deal with the emotion on the floor here for that, so.
Councilor Vaness.
Could I ask a question for clarification? Tracy, when you mentioned that it's divided by assessment, is that total assessment in the area, or is that just houses and buildings?
Just that area. So
Right, but,
through MPAC, we'll get a report of that that service area.
right,
Um,
but it's not just houses and roads, you're including land also.
yes, whatever comes through on that area, yeah.
I think they provided a map, did everybody?
Right, I have
Yeah.
that, I'm asking about the assessment.
Yeah.
So is there any variance in total area as part of that, or is strictly assessment?
Just assessment. And
Thank
then, and it's weighted and same as the for east assessment, added together.
Okay, thank you.
Council Burry.
So, my problem is we know how things drag on, and there'll be a new council in November, so I think it's better to be clear now. It's, I don't see a problem with it because it's been the same for how many years? Just put it in the agreement and then, if we don't get this all renegotiated with 3 fire departments, it's in the agreement and the next council deals with it. To me, it's not that hard. I don't see any problems with it.
Would you put a date on it? Like, will that change anything?
Sorry, date for.
To come back to council, or you're wanting to defer it indefinitely?
No, I'd be happy to say, come back to the, you know, coming first meeting in April. And with, you know, you could put in 10A, this is the agreement on how it's assessed and the costs are calculated by this. And I don't know why it isn't in there. To me, a council should never sign an agreement without knowing the cost and how it's calculated.
Any other comment?
Yes, and I guess all I'm saying is if the formula is there today, very simple that could be added. And if it's a matter of it wants to be physically written in front of council at the next meeting, quite frankly, that could come at the March 17th. Like it's already there. The formula is there, could easily be put.
Yeah, I just think it should be included.
Okay, so 2 clarifications. Could you bring this then tonight as an addition that we would like that formula included?
To Perth East Council, procedurally, yeah. I'm gonna defer to your clerk.
If council passes this motion, I would forward this to, Kirby's clerk and copy in Chief Hunter, and he would add that for his presentation. And then Kirby's council can decide if they're going to consider it as part of their, approval, or they may decide that they don't want to. So that's their prerogative, but that's what we would do.
So, again, going back to the date, would you like to add a date to bring this back?
Sure. Let's say, well, by the first meeting in April, or, about that. Third. So. If you bring it sooner, that's fine.
If you want to read the motion, just, we're all clear.
So sorry, if I may, Mayor, through you, it would be the best way to do it process-wise is on a day where Perth South has a daytime meeting and Perth East has an evening meeting. So not sure of the meeting schedule. That would be for me to be in attendance.
I think that is the April 7th.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor that is moved by Deputy Mayor Wilhelm and seconded by Councillor Vaness, that the, council defer signing the agreement until the financial calculation formula is included in the agreement, to be brought back by April 7th, 2026.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Yes. You're okay with that? Okay. All those in favor? Any opposed? You're opposed or?
No, I'm not opposed.
Okay. Okay, then the motion carries. So, little more work to do.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much for
Thank you.
coming. We're at 7.3, the optimism place. I'm not sure who's making a presentation, but you're more than welcome to go ahead.
Yes. Nice.
All right, good morning.
Hi, I'm Deb Proud-Wearsink, and I'm here today as a member of the Board of Directors of Optimism Place Women's Shelter.
Sorry, can
And-
you just say your name one more time? I think there was some.
Sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
that's okay. I'm Deb Proud-Wearsink. And I'm here today as a member of the Board of Directors of Optimism Place Women's Shelter and Support Services. And I'm also a resident of Perth South. I probably should interject and thank whoever it is that clears that drift at the end of our laneway. It's massive and it's been a hard winter, so thank you. Seriously, thanks to Mayor Sue Orr for responding so quickly to my request back in December to bring a delegation today. I joined the Optimism Place board because I had seen firsthand how intimate partner violence could change the trajectory of a friend's life. And when I met with the executive director at the time, as a fact finding, I was shocked at the numbers here in Perth County. I've become an advocate for women experiencing intimate partner violence. I am hopeful that the municipality of Perth South will take a stand today and declare intimate partner violence the epidemic that it is. Donna Jean Forrester is the Executive Director of Optimism Place Women's Shelter and Support Services. She is also the lead of the Gender-Based Violence Priority Area of the Perth County Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan. As such, she brings a level of expertise to this topic that all of us here today from Optimism Place are happy that she will share with you.
Thanks, Deb, for your support, not only of Optimism Place, but your advocacy for women who not just live in Perth South, but across Perth County. I'd like to start by expressing my appreciation to this council for your endorsement of the Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan in recent months. Through this plan, gender-based violence, including intimate partner violence, has been selected as one of 3 key priority areas to focus on over the next 10 years. So thank you for endorsing that plan. I would also thank you for the ways that this municipality and your council members have been supporting our Not Okay campaign, which is raising awareness of the signs of intimate partner violence and how to help effectively women across all of Perth County. To date, 110 municipalities in Ontario have declared intimate partner violence an epidemic. It's our hope that Perth South will become the 111th. Perth County, as you know, is home to 6 municipalities, and of those, West Perth declared in 2025, the City of Stratford declared in 2023. In January of this year, the municipality of North Perth declared IPV an epidemic and committed to education and training for council and staff. And just 2 weeks ago, the town of St. Mary's declared intimate partner violence an epidemic. It's our hope today that Perth South will also declare, and this evening that Perth East will make their declaration, to have all 6 municipalities in Perth County taking a stand together. In the 31 days of December, 5 Ontario women were killed by their intimate partner or family member. Every day, Perth County OPP and Stratford Police receive 2 to 3 calls related to intimate partner violence. Intimate partner violence negatively impacts our community's sense of safety and well-being. You may recall on February 12, 2020, Sydney Tuzel was violently assaulted and stabbed by her ex-boyfriend outside of Little Falls Elementary School in St. Mary's. Just 2 weeks ago, Sydney completed a half marathon run from Little Falls to Optimism Place in Stratford to raise awareness of intimate partner violence and as a physical demonstration of her strength, healing, and courage after such a public experience of violence. She also raised over $15,000 for Optimism Place to support other women experiencing intimate partner violence. And while Sydney's stabbing was a very public experience of intimate partner violence, there are hundreds more women in Perth South alone who are currently experiencing intimate partner violence or who have experienced it in the past. 44% of women who've been in an intimate relationship have experienced some form of psychological, physical, or sexual abuse in their relationships. It happens here, and it's not okay. In Perth County in 2024, there were 994 reports of intimate partner violence, which resulted in 227 charges. Every month, probation and parole supervise an average of 115 clients who are on probation as a result of domestic violence charges. At Optimism Place in 2024, there were 203 women and children living in shelter, and an additional 200 women accessing intimate partner violence-related services, but who did not need residential support. Since 2022, 50 women have been assessed as high risk of lethality from their intimate partner and have received wraparound supports from a collaborative group of community partners
who have joined together to immediately reduce their risk and ensure their safety. Every year at Optimism Place, we see about 5 to 10 women, along with their children, from Perth South who access our shelter for a residential stay. In addition, we have about 15 women and their children who are accessing our community-based services, such as counseling, support with family court, parenting supports, and other supports associated with experiencing intimate partner violence. Every single day, at least one woman from Perth South calls our 24-hour support phone line for support for themselves or someone they know who is experiencing intimate partner violence. Today, a declaration of intimate partner violence as an epidemic is not just symbolic words on a page. There are actions to be taken that can make a difference, and the first step is education. Knowing the signs of intimate partner violence and how to respond effectively when someone is experiencing it. The next step is to seek supports from experts in our community to help understand the issue and how our community is responding to it. And then raise awareness among your friends and family members by talking about it, sharing information, supporting activities. In your package of materials for this meeting, there's a list of ways that you can engage, but I'll highlight just one. On April 13th at Milverton Public School, Stop VAW, which is our collaborative committee of frontline workers from a variety of organizations who are working together to end violence against women. This committee is hosting a community information session about intimate partner violence. It includes dinner, so there's no reason not to come. There's speakers from all community organizations will be present and provide information and support right on the spot. If you're able to share this information about this event, encourage people to attend and attend this event yourself. You will learn and you will be able to support the residents of Perth South who are experiencing intimate partner violence. Intimate partner violence has been increasing in our community, and the negative impacts of intimate partner violence on the residents of our community, and in particular women and children, has consequences that last for generations. We encourage Perth South to declare intimate partner violence an epidemic and continue to work collaboratively together with our whole community to ensure the safety and well-being of all. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you for your presentation. I'm gonna open the floor. Anybody would have comments? Councilor Jeff Bell?
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Excuse my language, but I have to refer to it as a holy shit moment. I had that conversation with someone this weekend, talking about some of the numbers in this report. I said it can't be that big of a problem in Perth County. And I gave them the numbers. And the response was, holy shit. Mm-hmm. So, thank you. I'd also like to recognize that we do have Lisa Wall, the executive director of the Murphy Center, and some of their board members here. They can also provide some information if anyone has any questions. So, the numbers in here are disturbing, to say the least. To think that one of our friends and neighbors are calling for support on a daily basis, that's very concerning. So, I would certainly support seeing a motion raised to declare intimate partner violence an epidemic here.
Any other comments or questions? Councilor Vanessa, and then we'll.
Just a question here. I'm part of the CPAC committee and the numbers, I'm trying to understand this. So from 22 to this year, what do they call it? They call it occurrences, domestic related occurrences have dropped by half in Perth South. And charges have dropped by half in Perth South in those 4 years. So I'm trying to understand, like, do people not call the police? Do they mark it under a different column? And I wish the police was here, but they're not. Can you explain that at all?
Yeah, the numbers in our report are for all of Perth County. But there is, we know that these numbers are vastly underreported. Not everybody calls police, lots of people don't, and never will. And it doesn't mean that it's not occurring, and it doesn't mean it's not okay.
I didn't say it. I know, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just trying to get a clarification. Like, the current Perth South issue is charges was 4 according to the Chicago police, and occurrences was 13. So most people are then not talking to the police. Is there a reason?
Yes, I think there's a reason for that, and we know there's still a huge stigma around intimate partner violence. We know that the justice system is not the answer for a lot of intimate partner violence occurrences. It's not always helpful, and we also know that it takes numerous times for women to gain the courage not just to call Optimism Place, but to reach out to police, so that there's occurrences happening that are not being reported.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Would anybody from the Emily Murphy like to make a comment? Oh, I'm sorry, Councilor Murphy. Go ahead.
Sorry. I just wanted to thank you for the links that were included in this for the education. I had an opportunity to go through it recently. It's excellent. It's really well done. Particularly the tools that it gives somebody, because, you know, the stats seem to be fairly clear that people have an idea something's going on and they don't know what to do. These trainings were particularly good. And I felt I left it with some training and with some skills to help in a situation. So I'm wondering as a council what we can do to help push this training out, whether we can include it in a newsletter or because the more people that can take this training, the more equipped that our community is, that we can help support people that are in these relationships and would be helped direct them when needed. So I know I passed it on to my employer and our training and development and asked them to send it out. I'm wondering if we have opportunities to help share this.
I'm also thinking eventually, maybe in the fall or maybe next year, we have a training session here and the Downey Optimist or here in the office. I think it's, well, I guess I'm speaking out of turn, but potentially not. I would agree with you that the links are excellent, and I'm happy to open the floor to Emily Murphy. Did you want to say anything? I know that you weren't on
No, that's okay. Thank you very much. Madam Mayor, I'd like to echo what Donna Jean has put forth. We see very similar numbers happening with us at the Emily Murphy Center. We know that every 3 days, a woman in Canada is killed due to intimate partner violence. If that were happening with any other population, there would be, I think, increased action. I'd like to hear this discussion at this table, with the councillors who are saying that they want some more information and they want some training. So starting with the motion, make this an epidemic here in Purcell is a great place to start, and then action oriented around that, perhaps to start training every civil employee here. And we can't do it alone. We have been working in this field forever, and we can't do it alone. We need the support of the community. This can no longer be a hidden issue. It is a responsibility of every person in the community to take action. Thank you.
any Councillor Marco?
Yeah, my question is support. So when you say support, what does that mean? How does this, I don't know, I'm not really on this, so can you just let me know, how is this funded? How does this work? Who's private donations? When you say support, what does that mean?
Support for women individually, or
No, like
supporting the declaration?
The whole
Oh.
thing, it looks like you have an office, so who funds the office? People in the office, who are they funded by? How does this work?
Yeah, Optimism Place is funded by numerous grants. We're also funded by the provincial government, the Ministry of Community, Children and Social Services. We also have really great support from our community in terms of donations from individuals, of not just monetary donations, but material donations. And we fund our work through kind of all of those things. So we operate a 29-bed shelter in Stratford that services women and children all across Perth County. Yeah, we provide all kinds of wraparound supports. Women don't have to live in shelter to receive services. We travel across the county providing those services to women.
Just to follow up to that, So is there, optimism places all over Ontario, Canada?
Yes, yeah, most communities have a women serving organization or two, that are shelters, or like Emily Murphy Center is second stage housing, provider, and those exist in every community.
Councillor Jeff Bell?
Yeah, just to follow up to Councilor Bell's question. I can say from, well, one of the things, Optimism Place is called Optimism Place for a reason. As you know, I'm a proud member of the Downey Optimists. We greatly support both Optimism Place and Emily Murphy. We do the best that we can, especially at Christmas time, by providing gifts for the people in care, and financial donations. But maybe you can just briefly speak to how Optimism Place got its name.
Yes, so originally in the early 80s, the Stratford Optimists purchased a house, and that was the very first women's shelter in Stratford, and then sold that house to provide funding together with the provincial government to build where we currently are, and that's where we adopted the name Optimism Place. So it is after the Optimist Club.
Any other questions? Councillor
Last question. So, we declare this an epidemic. Is there a goal, like an objective? So everything goes well, 5 years from now, everyone's, and the numbers go down, we get rid of this, or is this just perpetual?
Well, so that's a
Being
long.
optimistic.
People who know me will say that I am completely optimistic. Our provincial government, the fall sometime, declared intimate partner violence endemic, meaning that it exists perpetually in our community. I don't think that's true. I do believe that with the right steps, with all of our community support, the right education, that we actually can end intimate partner violence. We can end gender-based violence in our community, and we owe it to ourselves as a whole community to do so. Can we do it in 5 years? No, I don't think so, but my optimistic self says, why the heck not? But I think we can as a community, but we need the whole community to do that. And so Perth South taking a stand today together with the other municipalities across Perth County to declare intimate partner violence as an epidemic means that here we are at council today talking about it. I don't know how many times this council in its lifetime has had conversations about intimate partner violence. And so we're taking one new step today, and we will continue to have those conversations. And I appreciate, Councillor Martin, your commitment to already providing education and taking that to your workplace. And so those are the actions that can be taken as a council and as a community to continue to educate and continue to talk about it. Because the more that we talk about it, the less it continues to exist in silence.
Any further questions? Councillor Ness?
Does the, how do I ask this question? Does the economic challenges we're in right now, does that affect it at all also? We see a lot more homeless, and we see it in our own municipality. A lot of people can't pay their taxes. Does that affect the rates?
So there's all kinds of things that can impact rates of intimate partner violence, but we know since the pandemic, every year rates of intimate partner violence, despite what you might notice in terms of Perth South's statistics from Stratford Police, is that intimate partner violence generally across the country, across our province, is increasing. It, I think, is connected to economic challenges, but we know that intimate partner violence occurs across economics. There isn't, it occurs in all population. And so there is definitely challenges, and there are times when it is challenging in our community and the lives of our families, that it can increase, but it is not directly linked to economics, I don't think.
Any further questions? Councillor Jeff Bell, did you want to make a motion?
Yes, I would like to make a motion that the township of Perth South declare intimate partner violence an epidemic.
So moved, second by Councillor Martin. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. All right, we're at item 8, reports, chief building official, March. Oh.
Thank you. Thank you. Sure.
You're welcome to stay, but you're welcome to go too. This is it. How are you?
I'm not sure what to say now. Thank you, Mayor, or members of council. My report before you. We've had a slow start to the year, but there are, the weather's warming up and permits are coming in. We've issued several since I've actually written this report. We're busy with the projects already ongoing too. We did 19 inspections throughout the month of February. So we're looking forward to a busy spring. I'm happy to report JSB Construction has got back to us about the office renovation. They're hoping to start the week of April 6th. So we look forward to getting that project ongoing and hopefully finished quickly as possible. Yeah, we're eager to get that project going, and we're hoping there'll be as minimal disruption as possible. It was quiet for bylaw enforcement and property standards for the month, and that's basically it in a nutshell. I'd happy to answer any questions anyone might have.
Councilor Marco?
Thank you for the report. Did JSB indicate how long they think they would take starting April 6th?
We're gonna phase the project, so the first thing we're going to do is do that office up front. So I can move and we can move staff around, and then we were initially gonna do it in 3 phases, but we've decided to do it in 2 just to expedite the renovations. There is a deadline on the contract. I think August 1st is the deadline, but he has indicated he wants to do it quicker than that. Yeah, awesome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Any other questions for Martin? Seeing none, I have a recommendation that CDO update report be received for information. Moved by Deputy Mayor Wellno, seconded by Councilor Corview. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried.
Great, thank you.
Director of Public Works. Ken, and if you want to start with the drainage superintendent.
Yeah, the candidate's not here, so I'll let you take an update on drainage.
Morning, everybody. Just a couple things here that we're working on here, a few items. One's a maintenance item in the mirror drain. We just started working on that. It would entail a clean out and some brushing activities. We'd like to get this done before the 15th of March. We can't be doing any in waterworks as fish timing windows start to apply at that time. So that should go pretty well, pretty quick. And then one of the items that kind of slipped through the cracks on capital is the Giesbrecht municipal drain. It's a new one. There's a petition that was filed with the township from Ron Giesbrecht. He is the owner of part lot 5 concession, West Mitchell Road. Spring, they were appointed on this project. We've had an on-site meeting, and they are currently in the design process for that. So hopefully he has something that, some numbers, and we can have an information meeting on that in the not too distant future. Questions?
Any questions? Do you have any oh, sorry. Go ahead.
On a different, that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Do you have anything back here from the Herman and the Pollard? It says we're waiting for the Department of Fisheries and Upper Thames to get back.
Yes, okay.
And that's from April 8th a year ago.
Yeah, it has been. It's been a while. The hurdle here on this one is the Upper Thames. The Department of Fisheries, they don't have any problem with it. So we're just waiting for Spreets to kind of go back with we're going to do a ditching closure at the bottom of it. Upper Thames wants to see, and I think Ken was at a 250-year event swale over top of it, so Brandon's just designing that, and see what that would look like over top of the enclosure, so.
And like, I'm just wondering, it's 10 months.
Yeah.
11
Oh, yeah,
months.
Yeah,
So what's the holdup?
that's what it is, it's just the upper temps. Getting a permit from them, so.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Just wondering if, go ahead.
Yeah.
Councilor.
I actually had a question about, because we're gonna get a thaw here, so I was wondering if you're gonna do your drain, so that's great.
Yeah.
Could you give an update on the please?
Yeah, Australia, we had tribunal hearing there last week for that one. It was fairly short, but we only took the afternoon to get that one completed. We'll probably hear back from them in about 4 weeks, like a month, yeah, with the decision. Yeah.
Thank you.
That was my question.
Oh.
Councilor Vanessa?
And if you get it back in 4 weeks, does that give us enough time to actually try and get that drain done this year?
As long as they don't apply to or contest that the drainage referee, that would be their, oh yeah, there's another one about it, yeah. So, let's cross our fingers if we don't go down that road, so. But if we get a decision and everybody's good with that, yeah, we can proceed to tendering that project, and it would be nice to get that one tidied up for sure.
All right, I have a recommendation that the drainage superintendent update report be received for information. Moved by Councilor Markell, second by Councilor Vanessa, all those in favor? Any opposed, carried. Thank you, Scott, for your everything.
Appreciate it.
But you just wanted to see Scott.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, have a nice day.
So we are at, item D, report for maintenance gravel and results. Ken?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Orr. My first report here is the A-Gravel tender results. And the results that came back a little better than expected. So basically the cost is the same as what we paid last year for the gravel. And I believe Tracy has updated the budget because we had expected like a cost of living increase on the gravel. So we now that we've got some actual numbers, we've been able to input that into the budget for this year. So the low bid this time was from McCann Ready Mix. And they have a pit in Perth South here, so we've seen gravel before, and gravel's good quality. Very happy with it, so I recommend award to McCann Ready Mix for this pit.
Councilor Martin?
Just wondering if we could just take a minute and talk about, we moved to A-Gravel a few years ago, right? And I think there was going to be some metrics collected on that to see whether it was better. Forgive me, I do not pretend to have any expertise in gravel. It's a bit of a deep dive in AI, trying to learn about gravel. And it sounds like A-Gravel is not recommended, and most people are not using A-Gravel. Again, let's quantify this is what the computer told me, not that any sort of expertise. I just remember we talked about, we were at A-Gravel, we went to A-Gravel, we were going to watch and see if that was better. In your study of our roads, did you see an improvement in A-Gravel, or should we be looking at, are we just doing A-Gravel because we decided as a council that we should do A-Gravel, or has it been an improvement?
Through the mayor.
Very well.
Yeah, through the mayor, but once here, I'll try and remember them all.
You like A-Gravel again?
So yes, it was council's decision.
Yeah.
Prior, we had been using M gravel, the granular M. So council decided we wanted to switch to granular A. And there's not a huge difference between granular A, granular M. I think they can even overlap a little bit. Granular A tends to have a little more stone, or bigger stone, is kind of the difference. So the granular A, I haven't noticed any, I would say I haven't noticed any change, for better or worse, based on the gravel change. we have noticed change based on quantity changes made, but not on the material stuff. I think if you're using a granular A, it works better, having it on like a thicker application because it has that thicker stone. And some roads we put thicker and thinner applications on, so it's a bit of a, just a bit of, the difference is, not only noticeable, I guess, there's little components here and there. Pricing wise, I don't think there's really any difference on the price either, between A or M. It goes through, the same pressure, just they put it in the screen, so I don't, it seems to be working okay. I don't see a reason that we necessarily want to change it, but,
Yeah, I guess that was my question, because the direction came from council, but we're just want to make sure we're still.
Yeah, and
we didn't send you down the wrong.
granular M was, my understanding was designed by the MTO or the OPS specs for the purpose of maintenance gravel. And I think probably because it goes on a little thinner than, if you're building on a new road, you would use A gravel. With new construction, the M gravel then was more for the thinner applications, which we do for thin applications basically. For our, but yeah, I'd be happy with either product actually. If that helps.
I don't have a preference, I just want to. As we discussed this and we said we discuss it again, I thought this would be a cover.
Any other questions regarding the gravel? Councilor Vanessa?
Just a couple questions here. A couple years ago, we skipped a year in Blanchard, we skipped a year in Downey. Would we be able to have a discussion next year about possibly looking at, I know some of the other municipalities have started skipping also. So I don't know if we will just start or just in the middle of that happening. Could we have a discussion next council, next year, whoever the council is, before we put the tender out and talk about that? And then also just a question here, I understand we're in a capital budget, maybe doing some paving on line 14. And I think I've seen that we're also graveling it. Is that something we normally do, or does it take different gravel before we actually pave a road that hasn't been gravelled before?
I guess the first question was, or first item to discuss was the skipping or changing. I know budgeting wise, Tracy would want to try and have some funding, I think, put away every year just for consistency on budgeting. How that translates into application can be changed, but just so you don't have one year where you have savings and then another year where the next year you have a big hit with the gravel comes back, that we were to, just for budget purposes, I know she likes to have like a consistent expenditure annually, but whether that is into a reserve or something. If they want to, the council wanted to, look at skipping or reductions of some kind. Look at that, I guess, with the council. The granulars for paving a road, getting maintenance gravel on the spring would probably have a small effect on if we were to pave it. And part of the work to paving it would probably put some gravel on and use that to get everything shaped up and a good base under. So it would probably just help reduce any quantity of gravel we may have to put on as part of the paving project.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions? No, I have a recommendation, actually, I have a question. All of the gravel that is in the ditches right now, do we scoop that up or no?
No, there's a big quantity somewhere we can try and backdrag it, up, but just a little bit,
But we don't have a sweeper that brings it back.
and go down the ditch with.
Just curious. All right, I have a recommendation the Township of Perth South Council make the 2026 A gravel tender result public works 2026-01 to McCann Ready Mix in the amount of $480,060. Moved by Councillor Mark Bell, seconded by Councillor Jeff Bell, all those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. We are at dust control.
Thank you. Next report is the annual dust control tender. So it was out and closed same time as the gravel one. I'm very happy with the results on this tender this year. The prices came in less than last year. I think helps. Part of that helped with some competition from the number company that we had. One more supplier market, maybe that helped. Anyway, so they dust control was a little bit this year. They had historically done our dust control for us. So I would recommend we go for a little bit for that this year.
Any questions regarding dust control? Councillor Mark Bell?
Will they be carrying the calcium from Doddridge?
Correct, as we're their office, and they have a terminal down at port. The product comes in on a barge and they ship it out of Doddridge.
Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Rowan?
On occasion, we, put dust suppressant through, middle of summer when we have issues. Do you keep part of this in reserve for that, or do you just buy spot pricing for those occasions when you have to bring in extra dust suppressant for too much dust?
Yeah, if we had to do something so this is, the main work of this is in the spring, but if we do have to put some product on, in the summer, especially if there's a detour construction going on somewhere, sometimes that might cause it, not even our construction, but, county construction or Stratford construction and create a lot of traffic on some of our roads. If we did have to do some stuff in the summer, the prices in the tender are still $5, so it's for the whole season, and we're able to get them, right quantity would be for a short section, so.
Any further questions? Councillor Mark Bell?
One last thing, do we have reserve for this specific thing, or is this just going under gravel?
This is under, in budget, gravel was talking as, dust control gravel or combined in one item under the budget. Thank you, this annual. Wow, thanks.
Councillor Jeff Bell?
Sorry, so this is the third tender today that we're seeing decrease in pricing. Is this a trend that,
Not on wood.
I think part of it might be, good timing too, like getting the tenders out this time of year, even for the drainage work, the contractors, still for work for this summer, for them to do it, and hopefully that's part of the reason. But I don't expect to see price reductions coming in. Thank you.
Councillor Mark Bell?
Swear it's the last one. Should we, on that note, should we be making this a bylaw to put these tenders out by a certain date in the future? Like, should council be looking at this to be like, not let it drag on, because I think it has in the past, we did it or whatever, but is that possible?
You want to comment, Tracy?
It's through your, I'm one for pushing to get those out right away.
Yeah.
Because I agree with you, the quicker we can get stuff out, the better we are, so, as a treasurer, I know that this is gonna be part of our operating budget all the time, so I don't have a problem, and I don't imagine council does either with getting these out very quickly, because it's gonna be one of your ongoing, services for your residents, so, yeah, Ken and I, even though we knew the budget in the past, we did push to get this out. Yeah.
Does the need a bylaw?
I don't think it needs a bylaw, I think, just between council and, Ken and I, we just make sure we're pushing to get these contracts out for very quick.
Maybe a calendar, but it's sort of.
Yeah.
Councillor Burley?
One thing, we should think about before budget, and I talked to Ken about it a week ago, and Ken gave me some good information that our paved roads that we're paving are probably, we're doing the minimum on asphalt, so, I was thinking that maybe we should need a bylaw at some point that's for future councils, like maybe the first layer should be 3 inches, the second layer 2 inches, and may end up with 5 instead of 4. But Ken thinks that it's, on the minimal side, and I noticed this year our roads are taking a beating, our asphalt roads are really taking a beating, and I'm not sure putting enough down on the first coat, so, which is an added expense, but if we want 20+ years out of our roads, we should maybe think about the way we do it. And then, you know, Ken can add something to that if, whatever he thinks, but I'm not as scared to spend money on something that'll last, so.
Feel that's more of a budget discussion.
Yeah, no, but I just want budget, for council to think about it before we get to budget. Yeah.
Perfect. Any other questions regarding the dust control? No, I have a recommendation that the Township of Perth South Council awards the 2026 dust suppressant tender Public Works 2026-02 to Daily Dust Control in the amount of $190,613.15. Moved by Councilor Matt, second by Councilor Martin. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Here at the court, 8.3. Do you want to pause at all, or do you want to just keep going? Keep going. Okay, keep going.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Orso. My first item is just to have council approve the new meeting date for our budget, since we had to postpone the February 24th. It's not a meeting that's on our schedule, unless you want to add it to one of our next meetings. So I was thinking maybe March 17th. We have an evening meeting, maybe do there. Tracy's shaking her head over there. Yeah, just gonna let my dog live. I was just a suggestion. I just want to have a council discussion.
Okay. So we are looking at 17th is out from what I'm hearing. The next regular council meeting is April 7th. It's a morning meeting. Potentially could do a day. Councilor Corbin.
My past experience is it's too long a day with budget and other stuff.
Okay. So we're looking at Tuesday, April 14th would be the meeting in between.
So we're about March 24th.
I won't be here, but
Okay. 30th?
30th or 31st. I'm okay with that. Councilor Martin.
That's not canceling it though, because it's really tricky for me to move everything around to get the day off. So
Okay.
if we can, try not.
So Tuesday, March 31st seems to work around the table.
30th is better for me.
30th is better for you.
30, 50, but
That is- Nobody's going to Good Road. And there is
Yeah.
and then Seaverville Athletic Association, ADM is on the Monday.
March break. Yeah.
How about 17th?
The 16th week, somewhere.
What are the wishes of council? How long does it keep getting?
That's what there's a Sunday. Yeah, that's right. Oh, gosh. Did we talk about March? Yeah.
I am sorry, no.
Okay. I mean, what about the 25th?
I'm not here.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I could do it. I'd be rather be here.
That's Easter Monday.
No, March,
Oh.
like Friday.
Oh,
Sorry.
no.
I am not here.
30th work.
30th didn't work?
Okay, so
Yeah, not good roads conference.
Okay.
Till when?
31st.
Yeah, so we could have it that week later. The second, maybe the first.
That is, council in the morning, but I'm going to run to county.
Oh.
Yeah, but we could do it in the afternoon.
Thursday, Friday,
The first.
But the afternoon of the second.
Can I
Are you
speak to
doing
that?
that, or is that, are you gonna be all
Should be.
exhausted?
No, I mean, it's just the two of us, so, we are looking at the afternoon of April 2nd, it's a Thursday.
Depends on how frustrated Sue gets in the morning.
Too big for it.
It's
It'll be
the
okay.
bylaw of the trees that day.
Oh.
That should be pretty
Oh,
complicated.
yeah.
So,
Well, I am happy to come into
I would like to get it done, so I'm hearing around the table that Thursday, April 2nd in the afternoon works. Can we go with that? Okay, we'll do 1 o'clock start, 1 o'clock? Sure, and if we are delayed, we're delayed, but. Bob and I will do it. Okay, so, recommendation that the council approve the special council meeting for budget on Thursday, April 2nd, 2026 at 1 o'clock to review the 2026 budget. Moved by Councilor Jeff Bell, second by Councilor Jamie Bell.
Did I?
All those in favor?
Did I?
We don't have enough bells around here.
Maybe I need my second job. Okay. Moved by Councilor Jeff Bell, second by Councilor Martin. All those in favor? Sorry about that. Sorry. Okay, now we are on to the request for council support of the customer appreciation event. Thank you, Mayor Orr. We received a similar request for our mechanical last year, and I actually believe this is the third year they're holding the event. This is to help with the application for their liquor license. Council did endorse the event as a municipally significant last year. I think it's well attended, and it's just a daytime event that and they have lots of family oriented things going on. So I'm just requesting that council again considers endorsing it. Seeing any questions? I have a recommendation that the council endorses the customer appreciation event by Car Mechanical being held on June 6, 2026, and designates it as it being municipally significant. Moved by Councilor Mark Bell, second by Councilor Martin. All those in favor? Carried. We are at the fix agreement for the road list management. Was that? Thank you, Mayor Orr. So this is an agreement that we sign every 4 years. It is part of my election process for the vote by mail. Voter review helps with the election list management after it's produced by, this year it's going to be Elections Ontario. So I'm very excited. We've been learning lots of things with the cleanup of the data. So I have hope that better experience. They also, DataFix also helps us by producing our voter kits and mailing them out. And so that's what this agreement is for. Council would authorize me to sign it. Would be awesome. Any questions? Councilor?
no question, just on the date, on the actual agreement. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Recommendation that the council receives the report regarding the additional service statement of work, Concrete Systems Incorporated, and approves the bylaw authorizing the clerk to execute the agreement on behalf of the township of Perth. Moved by Councilor Vanessa, second by Councilor Jeff Bell. All those in favor? Carried. Will, your report.
Thanks, Mayor Orr. And members of council, fairly straightforward report. Back in December, you folks did make some approvals for fire positions down at the Brandon Station for the village fire area. And through the appointment now of Mr. Ron Brower as fire chief of the Logan Biddle Station, we now need to appoint Mr. Brower as the chief and Mr. Bates and Mr. Mayor would be returning to their original positions, and that's really what the resolution would speak to. Are there any questions at all to the board?
Any questions? Councilor Clerk?
Just a comment, I can't say enough about the meeting we had. It was very informative with Ron. I think he's gonna be a really good addition and one of the best meetings we had.
Yeah.
Seeing no further questions, I have a recommendation that the council amend resolution 465 from its December 26, 2025 meeting and approve the appointment of Mr. Ron DeBrower as fire chief, restore Mr. Brian Bates as acting deputy chief, and restore Mr. Brad Mayer to the training officer position for the Dog Blanchard Fire Department, effective immediately. Moved by Councilor Corby, second by Deputy Mayor Wilhelm. All those in favor? None opposed? Carried. Any correspondence? Council reports. Who would like to start? Councilor Williams?
Yeah, nothing new here. Oh, I just one question. Can you get an update on Kirkland Woodham? Did we get insurance? Oh, I apologize, I should have asked you in your.
Yes, entirely a fair question. Simple answer is yes, the insurance issue is solved. It isn't sitting with us yet, but we are in agreement that a product can be found and they're in process of putting that together.
Thank you.
Councilor Jeff Bell?
Just further to that, I'd like to thank Will especially and Bob for coming out for with the Optimus Club and sitting down. I think we made a lot of progress that night. Sorry about your drive home.
It's an interesting one.
Well, one of the things almost split off Science Hill Road in front, so.
Yeah, it's in the top 10.
Other than that, I had my first municipal day meeting last week, and I guess other things, thank you for Councilor Martin for organizing another great games night last night.
Councilor, well, and that's really the only thing I have to talk about. We had another game night last night. I think they've planned a different day. That first Monday is a problem, but I just would want to thank the support of Councilor Bell and their families that came out to play games and argue over rules. And provide snacks. So we've had some good support. I do think we need.
Deputy Mayor?
Similar to, Councilor Bell commented, we attended the, Kirkland of the Optimist and, the Community Center Board members were there. We had very good discussion and, hopefully it's going to move forward. There's going to be a Community Center Board meeting on, March 9th, and they're going to discuss the, insurance, etc. And, we still have ways to go to organizing how this is complex is going to operate and how it's going to be managed. But if we get everybody insured, then we can take time and do it right, which is important. And the other thing was commenting on and moving it off. We had a good meeting there. That I think is going to be a more difficult negotiation than what we had anticipated. We may as well do it right, and right now, where I'm sitting, we're subsidizing the Commodore in our agreement, so we're gonna have to take some serious negotiation to get that changed, but that's where we're willing to get down on the road. What's that?
Councilor Marco?
Oh, go ahead.
Councilor
Yeah, I guess I'm taking Bob's spot Monday night.
Yeah.
To the community center. Did we get anybody to go to the Stephenville?
Mayor Orr has
put her name board, but anybody else is welcome.
I might, what date was that again?
31st, 30th?
Yeah, I might go. I've been there before. It's a good night.
Which reminds me, there was an invite from PCFA. Did you get that? Well, April 10th. I can attend, but only for half the morning. Would anybody like to go to the PCF roundtable discussion? I don't have the email right in front of me, but. So, pardon?
What was that again?
The PCFA, so I think it's for kind of, or for the OFA. I think it's PCFA. I don't know if I circulated it. Or I won't find it. So does that know if you, I think we can have 2 or 3 counselors. I'm only going for half a day.
And the other thing was, Ken looked after it pretty quick, line 14 at the bridge there, that was, those potholes were wicked, I'll tell you. Even my truck suffered going down that road, so Ken got down there and fixed it up. So, everything's good.
Okay, yeah, county council this week will have a, component of stewardship program. We did not, we're not going, so far, we're not going to receive any funding, program regarding our Perth South Tree Day. I don't necessarily agree with that. We're going to be, taking a discussion, among other things regarding the stewardship program. What else? Just really busy, the forestry bylaw, took a lot of time in the month of February. I was encouraged by the discussion, but I was also, by a few of the comments. Yeah, good days night last night. My husband enjoyed it. It's not better, so.
I think it was important that you guys were separated during the.
And I'm meeting new people, which I think is important, in a fun way. Okay, no other council reports. We have bylaws. I have a recommendation for bylaw 10/2026, be a bylaw to authorize the execution of the agreement with the Contract Systems Incorporated in first, second, and third readings will be properly signed and sealed. The 5, Deputy Mayor Wilhelm, second by Councilor Mark Bell. All those in favor? Carried. We have a bylaw that the 11, so this one, okay, we're not deferred, so we have to do this one. So the agreement is back. Any other announcements? Notices in motion? Other business, question covered. We have confirmatory draft. Go ahead.
I'm not sure I've got to ask a question. Is there a possibility we can have a delegation from Grant Tractor come to our next meeting? Do a presentation on refurbishing road graders before we get into the budget meeting? And I apologize, I'm not sure where I'm supposed to ask that.
Ben, do you think that's possible?
Yeah, they've been out, looked at the equipment and stuff.
Could they make a presentation to council, so, like, just what the program
Were
is?
you talking to anyone about that? Oh, okay. I thought maybe, they had offered something to you, so I don't know if this way too, but I can ask.
Okay, thank you.
For which meeting, the next,
Before the budget meeting.
What's that, 17th, I think?
March 17th?
Yeah.
All right, recommendation of bylaw 12/2026, the bylaw to adopt, confirm, ratify, and start with by the township of Perth South, beginning with second and third readings, and be properly signed and sealed. 35, Councilor Corby, second by Councilor Mark Bell. All those in favor? Any opposed? Carried. And we are adjourned. The meeting adjourned at 11:07. 35, Councilor Martin, seconded by Councilor John Bell. All those in favor? Carried. You guys could just keep sitting down.